everybody. Welcome into One Jets Live. I'm Caroline Hendershot alongside Ethan Greenberg. Ethan, we just got some very exciting news, some schedule-related news. Week 1, the Jets are taking on the San Francisco 49ers Monday Night Football. If you guys have questions or comments, put them in the chat and we'll get to them. Ethan, how are we feeling?
Excited.
Yeah.
I mean, this is an exciting moment. I think that when you're a Jets fan, right, I think with Aaron Rodgers returning, you kind of expected prime time to be heavily in the equation. You just didn't know when. Like, it made sense. This makes almost too much sense. You know, like, this is the time of year, especially with the schedule coming out. Today's Tuesday, so Wednesday at 8 p.m., tomorrow at 8 p.m.
Yep.
I think that, you know, you get all these predictions, and a lot of people, I think, a lot of fans were like, Jets Niners, could it be? Could it be? And you almost got to the point where you convince yourself, like, it's too obvious.
It's too popular of a choice.
It's like, let me not go with the mainstream selection.
Right.
It makes all the sense in the world. Joe Buck said it, the defending NFC champions, representing the NFC in the Super Bowl last year, losing to the Chiefs, welcoming in the New York Jets, who have number 8, Aaron Rodgers, returning from his Achilles injury, which was sustained on Monday Night Football. So it's also like redemption for Joe Buck, by the way.
It really is.
And then it's in San Francisco, which is, of course, where near Aaron Rodgers from, Chico, California, Northern California. The Niners passed on Aaron Rodgers in the 2005 draft for Alex Smith. That's a storyline. Robert Saleh heading back to San Francisco, where he coached as a defensive coordinator.
There's a lot of a lot of history there between a lot of the players, the teams, and I think I am most excited just of like the sheer competition. I think it's going to be like an outrageously fun game to be at, to watch, to just be a fan of. I think it's going to be really interesting.
The matchups are elite. Like, outside of the storylines, like, the matchups are very good. The Jets have a top 5 defense each of the past 2 years. The Niners, Kyle Shanahan, they're doing their thing on offense, one of the most dynamic offenses in the National Football League, if not the most dynamic, right up there with the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. You think about what the Niners like to do. They have an electric running back. Christian McCaffrey led the NFL in scrimmage yards last year. You know who's number 4 on that list? Second running back? Breeze. Yeah, so, like, the storylines are there. The matchups are there. Sauce Gardner against Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brock Purdy, Aaron Rodgers. I think that it's going to be an exciting game. And obviously, like, this just gets my mind rolling. Like, if the Jets are in Week 1 primetime, they're going to be maxed out on primetime again? Like, I would imagine they're going to be in the conversation.
I think so, too.
So, like, I'm excited to see what's the home opener going to be.
Yeah, right, because the Jets aren't at home. So what's that first home game going to look like? That is going to be an interesting battle because with the 2024 opponents, it's the home ones are the Bills, the Dolphins, the Patriots, obviously, but they have the Texans, the Colts, the Denver Broncos, the Chargers, and the Seahawks.
Yeah, I think that the home schedule is very impressive. Like, if you're a Jets fan and you want to see the green and white at home at MetLife, you have a good amount of options to see high-quality teams in New Jersey.
Are we thinking the Jets, now this is just sheer prediction here, are we thinking the Jets are home for Week 2?
You know, I don't know. I think it's I could see it going either way because, like, I think you'd imagine, right? Like, you would hope that if you're on Week 1 on the road, you're going to come back Week 2 after Monday night. It's a short week. The only thing I'll say is, like, when you take a look at the away schedule, what away team could make sense? Like, Pittsburgh in Week 2. I'm not saying that. The reason why I'm bringing that up is because it's not a long travel from the East Coast again.
Right.
Now, the one wrinkle in this whole thing is there have been times in the past where teams stay out on the West Coast or West Coast teams come to the East Coast and stay out on the East Coast for 2 weeks.
Right.
The only opponent that the Jets could do that for, hypothetically speaking here, would be the Cardinals.
Right.
So I don't know, like, how popular that is for the people who make the schedule.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something they take into account. I don't know if that's something that, like, you just kind of cross your fingers for. But it wouldn't surprise me either way if the Jets stayed out there or if the Jets returned home to MetLife Stadium and played any of these teams Week 2.
Eric Barty just said, have the Jets face the 49ers and Rams back-to-back?
No, I don't think so, but also the Rams are home. Like, the Rams are a MetLife game.
Right.
So I don't think that has a big impact in terms of staying out on the West Coast, obviously, because the Niners are an away game. The Rams are an East Coast game in terms of MetLife. But, I mean, maybe it's an interesting question. Like, did you mean in terms of then a West Coast team comes east? Like, maybe. It's kind of like to even out the playing field a little bit there.
Maybe.
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
I think that I think it's going to be interesting to see.
Oh, Eric actually meant Cardinals. He said, my bad. It's okay, Eric.
Yeah, I appreciate that,
We're all
Eric.
human over here. But no, we agree with that sentiment because that's what Ethan was saying is I don't know if the schedule makers put that into their decision, but it would make sense. Like, okay, just have a team stay out there for 2 weeks. Might be kind of nice.
Right. It's almost like too easy again, right?
To the West Coast. Yeah, I mean, it would obviously be advantageous for the Jets to be able to do that. Now, Austin said week 2 home opener Bills Sunday Night Football.
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy.
I mean, what are you doing to us here?
Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football.
At least you get a little more rest, just like a couple hours.
A couple hours.
Hey, people knock on that. I could use a couple more hours of sleep every day. So, like, you get a couple more hours on a short week. Yeah, I'm here for it.
Are we kidding? I love sleep.
Yeah, I know.
The best thing.
It would also be crazy just in general to go from Monday Night Football to Sunday Night Football and to come back to MetLife Stadium. Let me just paint a picture here.
Yep, go for it. I know where you're going. Go for it.
Jets go out to San Francisco week 1. They start the season 1-0. Then they come back to MetLife Stadium, Aaron Rodgers' second debut, the real debut.
The real debut.
Against the team that he tore his Achilles against at night, MetLife Stadium.
Whew.
I thought MetLife last year was the loudest week 1 that I've ever heard it in 9 years or 8 years.
Insane.
That game, if that were to happen, where you start 1-0, then you come back to the Bills,
you'd go.
Yeah,
Lost
I would need
all
earplugs.
Of hearing. Yeah.
I would need earplugs, 100%.
All of your hearing.
Marist Old Boys said, "Good test of our new offensive line. Want to see we have starters and depth." Yeah, the Niners defense can get after you.
Yeah.
Nick Bosa. I mean, Javon Kinlaw's now a Jet.
Right.
But DeForest Buckner's not there anymore. But Eric Armstead, they have a lot of talent up front. And Nick Bosa is kind of the head of the chain there.
Yeah.
And then also you think of what the Niners have on defense just overall, specifically with Fred Warner. I mean, you were talking about matchups earlier. C.J. Mosley and Fred Warner don't play against each other on the field at the same time, but this is one of the best inside linebacking duo for each team. Dre Greenlaw obviously tore his Achilles in the Super Bowl. I don't know if he'll be ready to play week 1, but Mosley and Quincy Williams and Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw is debatably the top 2 inside linebacker combos in the NFL.
And I know that's not maybe the to-watch position, but that is going to be some really great football happening there.
Coach James Rodriguez, okay.
Okay, Coach.
How do you guys think this will be for Coach Saleh emotionally, playing his old team?
It's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I think coaches are pretty good at compartmentalizing, as you would know, Coach. But I do think that there's got to be a little bit of nostalgia.
Of course.
Just some, obviously his ties there. I think it's going to be just a little emotional, but not in a sense where it's overpowering.
Right, or impacts anything.
Right.
I think the one thing about coaches is that usually they've coached for multiple teams. So
Totally.
I feel like that allure kind of wears off. I don't know if you would have said the same thing for the Texans, but that's where Coach got his coaching start.
Right.
And then goes to Jacksonville, Seattle, San Francisco, and then head coach of the Jets. I think that obviously they might have a special place in his heart because of the stories and whatnot that come from that, and the fact that his defensive coordinator position in San Francisco led him to be the head coach of the New York Jets. But I'm fine. Maybe when he's running the stairs pregame, he'll kind of take a moment,
I think he might,
take it
though,
in.
Really?
Hey, why not?
Yeah, that's kind of his time to decompress in the stadiums as he loves to run the stairs. Interesting that Euros said, can't wait to see our CBs dominate all season. Plus, excited to see Chuck Clark.
Chuck Clark is, I'm glad that, who's that? That mentioned Chuck Clark?
Euros. Yep.
I'm glad that Chuck Clark was brought up because Chuck Clark was the NFL's Iron Man before he unfortunately tore his ACL. We don't know what Chuck Clark would have provided in this defense, but by all measures, his time in Baltimore seems that he's a smart player, a versatile player, an underrated player.
Yep.
And when you have a chess piece like Chuck Clark, who's played or taken snaps at literally every position on defense throughout his career, including defensive tackle. Yeah, he played defensive tackle for a couple snaps at some point in his career. When you have someone who can do all that, and you have people who are creative calling plays like Jeff Ulbrich, head coach Robert Saleh obviously has a hand in the defense. I think that Chuck Clark could be an interesting piece that we don't really know what they have plan for, but it could be a big one for the Jets in 2024.
Also, just a defensive mind from that standpoint, having the understanding of all of those positions, how they work, how they mesh together, how you rely on one another, and having that practice at all of those positions, I think is such an invaluable experience that obviously not everyone has. So having Chuck Clark on the defense, having that defensive mind and all of that knowledge is going to be just make the defense even better. And they were already so good last year. So it's like, okay, what's that next level that they can reach?
So the Jets are 1-3 in Monday night road openers. The last time they started on the road on Monday night, I was at that game at Detroit.
Okay.
Jets won 48-17. Sam Darnold's rookie year, his debut against the Detroit Lions. Obviously, there's a much different team, and there's no rookie under center for the New York Jets, but that's just an interesting little nugget. They're 1-3 overall in Monday night openers on the road.
Okay.
And remember, they opened Monday night last year. They beat the Bills in overtime.
They did.
And that was an awesome game.
That was
like just thinking about that.
Game.
It was also your birthday.
It was.
Are you happy that this doesn't fall on your birthday?
You know, I don't mind having the football games on my birthday because it has been a treat, I would say, getting to be with all my friends on my birthday. But, and of course, all of you guys on my birthday. But, yeah, I'm a little relieved just because now my birthday doesn't have like the anxiety of like, okay, opening day, exciting things. Yeah.
And we don't need Tuesday football.
No, we don't.
Like Thursday,
Actually,
Friday,
I think it's a Wednesday this year.
Your birthday?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we don't need Wednesday football.
I mean, we could always use some Wednesday.
We could, but, you know, a Thursday, Friday, remember there's the Brazil game.
Oh, yes, yep.
Then there's not a Saturday game until later, but then there's Sunday games, Monday games. You know, man, you can have a day for yourself.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Big Frank 2005 says, of course the NFL has to give us our hardest game week 1.
Big Frank, it's a good thing. Think of the positives of this. It's the perfect test. Imagine.
Well, I get it, though.
I know, but imagine the Jets come out on top. Big Frank, you're not going to be saying that anymore.
I think the one thing, I saw someone post a video about this in terms of like Ravens-Chiefs week 1.
Yeah.
Maybe you want that to be a later game where like teams have kind of figured out their identity, so you're getting the best of both. Because in the beginning of the NFL season, like teams are still figuring it out.
Yeah.
You're trying to incorporate new pieces. You're trying to integrate everybody at the same time.
I understand that.
Yeah, I just think that I understand where Big Frank is coming from. But Big Frank, the NFL likes storylines, and the NFL got a lot of them with this game. Like too many to count.
Way too many to count. There's a lot of storylines there. And it's going to be a really fun game, I think, to watch. Like, yes, it might be one of the tougher matchups that the Jets are facing this year just because the 49ers were in the Super Bowl last year, but that's what's going to make the football game so good.
Yeah.
You don't want to see the Jets. I mean, yeah, you do want to see the Jets stomping on some people, but
I think you do, too.
But who knows? Maybe that could be the case.
Let me read you this.
Okay.
EA sent this to us.
Okay.
The Jets have a 2-3 record in San Francisco. This will be the Jets' second season opening visit to the Niners. The Jets dropped a 36-30 overtime thriller to the Niners at Candlestick Park on September 6, 1998, but Garrison Hearst's 96-yard game winner preceded a green and white division title and marched to the AFC Championship game. Long story short, the last time the Jets opened in San Francisco, if I'm reading this correctly, they went to the AFC Championship game. Food for thought.
We're just going to leave you with that.
We'll just, you know, it's just like Sunday.
Just take that, marinate on it.
Just like Sunday sauce, Sunday gravy, whatever you want to call it, we're going to let it simmer.
Yeah.
Right? Just sit on that for a minute.
Yep.
But I do think overall, when you look at the opponents for the Jets, this was obviously going to be one of, if not like the juiciest matchup outside of the division because the Bills, the Dolphins, both 11-5 last year. The Bills won the AFC East each of the past 4 seasons. Like, that game will be exciting whenever it happens, whether that is week 2 like someone had wanted in the comments.
On Sunday Night Football.
On Sunday Night Football, yes, thank you. Or whether that's Sunday 1 p.m. week 8.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I'm just saying whenever that game is, it will be exciting. Same thing with the Dolphins because the Jets had a legitimate chance last year to make noise in the division with a healthy team. They have an even better chance to do the same in 2024.
Oh, I like this. Max Power said Sunday sauce should be a T-shirt.
Oh, like
sauce.
Sauce Gardner.
Yeah.
Didn't he? So there's a video that the social team put out of players guessing week one, and wasn't Sauce one of the ones that predicted correctly?
Sauce was a correct guesser.
Okay.
Yep. He, Izzy, and I believe Ashton Davis all guessed the 49ers correctly. There were a lot of Bills.
I was going to say
wanting
that.
The Bills rematch. I think a lot of people saying Bills at home again, but I think that one is circled for the players too because of last year.
How do you feel about, I didn't ask you this, how do you feel about Jets-Niners in San Francisco opening week?
I am a little sad that the opening game is not a home game.
Right.
But I am really excited for Monday Night Football. I think Monday Night Football is like every time that we had it last year, it's like a little bit of like a Christmas Day present to me because you're waking up on a Monday and you're like, ugh, Monday. And then you're like, oh my God, we have Monday Night Football. And you get to look forward to it all day. And our work day obviously looks different. But I think being out in California is exciting. I've never been to the 49ers stadium.
And we get to watch football all day Sunday.
Heck yeah.
That's a big bonus in working in the NFL when you have Monday Night Football.
Yep.
Now, the other side of that coin is that you have to quickly flip the page, go to bed.
Yeah, you're a little tired.
You're running on fumes for a couple days.
But it's okay because we did not play 4 hours of football like the team did. So I always keep that in mind of I might be a little tired, but at least I didn't play 4 hours of football.
Do you ever start like an other workout on your watch and like see how many calories you track?
I do track how many miles I walk on the sideline. And usually it's like 5 to 6.
Okay. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think we kind of teased this earlier, but let's just dive into it a little bit, is that the schedule comes out tomorrow at 8 p.m.
Yep.
Right? So if you're unfamiliar with who the Jets play because you didn't look at it, it's been official now since January.
Yep.
The Jets play 9 away games, 8 home games. And so let me just pull up the opponents here. Oh, good.
We had some fun away
computer
games.
wants me to restart my browser. I'm not going to do that.
We have some fun away games this year. I would say some ones that are circled for me.
Okay.
Vikings.
Right. You like that stadium.
Yeah, it's a crazy atmosphere in there.
But if you're looking to go to a game, if you're a Jets fan, the Minnesota game could be cool because it's different. It's an indoor stadium. But I will say, if it's a December game.
But it's indoor.
Wait. Wasn't it in December when?
Yeah, and it's
22?
indoor. And it's like such a nice little reprieve from the elements.
Okay, so you're saying that's worth your while in terms of going.
Yeah, and
you
I
want
think
a
it's
power
a cool
rank,
experience.
like how you would, if you're a fan and you wanted to go to a game.
Okay.
San Francisco, it's got to be number one, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Because of
it's
everything going on.
Monday Night Football.
Now, the second game for me, we'll do like a little draft.
Okay.
The second game, to me, is Tennessee.
Okay, why is that?
Nashville's fun.
I've never been.
Okay, Nashville's a great time, live music, and the team is going to look a lot different in 2024 than it did in 2023.
Yeah.
So you think about what the Tennessee Titans have done. Well, one, they draft J.C. Latham. They have a new coach in Brian Callahan. His dad, Bill Callahan, the offensive line coach, who used to coach here most recently with the Bengals. Now he's with the Titans. Then you start to think about what Tennessee's done on offense. They brought in Calvin Ridley. They have DeAndre Hopkins. They have Treylon Burks coming back. They signed Tony Pollard. I think they signed Lloyd Cushenberry III at the center. This is a team that's gone under some serious construction in the offseason.
You're right, yeah.
And so I don't really know what that means. I mean, Will Levis had some promising moments as a rookie.
Uh-huh.
Now he's going to be the starting quarterback from the jump for the Tennessee Titans. So that's why Tennessee as a road game, if you're a fan, is my top choice outside of San Francisco.
That's a really good one. I like that a lot. But I don't know. I think I mean, I did like the Vikings in December because it was a nice little break personally for me and the team from being in the cold so much. But yeah, the Titans will be a really good matchup. I don't know. I'm excited for the Vikings. I do think the Cardinals will be an exciting game too. I'm excited to kind of see that matchup as well.
Which one?
The Cardinals.
Warm weather game.
Yeah.
If you're a golfer, get out there, play some desert golf. And that's also
Ethan's number one priority.
I will say with Arizona, if that's a cold month game here, that to me gets a couple notches up. You know, like in terms of power ranking.
Yes.
Because if it's hot here, that means it's scorching there.
Yes.
If it's cold here, it means it's nice there.
Right.
So if you're a fan and you're in the tri-state area and it's cold here, you want to get a little warmth, go to Arizona.
That's why whenever we play the Dolphins in like November, December, it's always nice because it's like, oh, little palm tree action in December. Don't mind if I do.
Well, Jacksonville, same thing. I mean, Jacksonville's a little bit different than Miami. It's a different vibe for sure. Why are you laughing at that?
I mean, they're both in Florida, but for sure.
Yeah, it is definitely a different vibe, but also, it depends. Are you going for football? Are you going to have a good time? Are you going for warm weather? Because that's how you kind of power rank these if you're a fan.
Yeah.
And then...
Ooh, Brandon Ace with 27-17 49ers win. Brandon, that's not very nice.
Brandon, it's Tuesday morning. It's 8:45 in the morning. Don't come at us with this negativity over here.
Brandon, why?
Please.
Why? I'm just wondering.
Maybe Brandon's
Did you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, Brandon?
He must be a South Pole elf.
Great reference.
Yeah, thank you. That's an elf reference.
This will test our defense game 1, and it will set the tone for this incredible Jets season. Much better.
Johnny boy.
Comment we like, Johnny boy.
Yeah. Johnny, go have a conversation with Brandon. Yeah. Okay?
Brandon needs a little believer juice.
Yeah, he does. Throw out the OJ.
Yep.
Put in the believer juice.
Yeah, I like that.
I just think that if you're coming at maybe he's a pessimist at heart and he doesn't want to get his hopes up. He's scared.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I get it.
Look, this team, no matter how you want to think about it or not, this team is primed in terms of talent.
Yeah.
So, what's there to be scared
of? Let's go. Across the board. Really.
Buckle up and let's ride.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's pretty much it on the away games. I mean, like Buffalo would be fun for sure.
As long as it's not December.
And, I mean, unless you're going to want to jump through some tables, you can do that.
I did say, though, in my predictions, when we answered a question series, all of the writers, I did say that I think the season could end in Buffalo.
Okay.
And as I am saying that now and thinking of last year's snow games at the end of the season, I am terrified. But I do think that would be like a really good way to end the season.
Yeah, especially like in the NFL's eyes, you kind of think that both these teams are going to be competing for the division crown or a playoff spot. Like there could be a lot on the line there. Same thing with Miami.
Yep.
In that sense. Now, if San Francisco's one primetime game,
yep.
How many primetime games do you think that the Jets will have? And if you're watching this, why don't you guess in the comments? Yeah, exactly. But you want to go game by game and like prime time or not, or you just want to take a look and say like, this many?
Let's go game by game. Why not?
And just
we had 5 last year and the Black Friday game.
Which I guess you can technically, I don't know if that's considered prime time. I think it is.
Like 6.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
5.5.
5.5.
Yeah. So I guess the over-under on One Jets Live is officially 5.5.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go through home games as you're looking at the home opponents.
Well, I'm immediately circling Dolphins, Bills, and Texans.
Dolphins, Bills, and Texans. Interesting.
Mr. McMoney, 3 primetime. Well, we just named 3 at the home, and San Francisco's away. So
I think more than that.
Yeah, I think more.
5 primetime games. Yeah. Okay, I like that. I do think they're poised
Aurora's got 5 too.
I do think they're poised for 6 again.
Yeah, I think so.
Because it makes sense in my eyes. 3 primetimes. Come on, guys. Up those numbers.
You're setting the bar too low.
Yeah, we are. We really are. It's going to be 5 again and Black Friday tradition. Ooh, okay, Eric.
Whoa, I like that thumbnail. You see that?
Oh.
It's a paper airplane.
Very cool, Eric.
That says
Barty.
Jets, and then the shadow is a fighter pilot.
I like that a lot.
A fighter plane.
Fighter plane.
So...
What do you think
Theo
about?
Says 5 max primetime games and standalone games like Black Friday does not count towards that. I think it does.
I think it does, Tio.
Yeah, but it's regardless. If you look at the teams that you could circle, 5 prime and 2 standalone. 7, Jared. Okay.
Ooh. Okay.
San Francisco, potentially Buffalo, Houston. The Rams are a sneaky good team.
Yeah.
Who else? I said the Texans, right?
You did say the Texans. The Texans will be a great game.
Yeah, the Steelers are like not the Steelers have history.
They do.
So
and
to me,
there's a lot of new faces on the Steelers.
There are. So to me, that could also be a sneaky game. Now, the one thing I'll say is, like, when the schedule comes out on Wednesday, there's going to be something that says, like, TBD and whatever. And then remember last year, primetime versus Texans would feed villages. And it also might feed your dog. Is your dog wearing a hat?
I think he is. That's incredible.
What is your dog's name?
Yeah, if you could respond your dog's name, we're big dog fans here.
Okay, so I don't remember what I was saying. I got distracted by the dog.
I don't either, to be quite honest. But I do know that we were counting primetime games. Oh, as Steelers.
Yeah, well, someone said 7. I'm pretty sure the max is 6. So, like, it can't be 7, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then I know what I was saying. The schedule comes out. There's some dates that are, like, to be determined.
Right.
There's also something that the NFL started last year where, like, games can get flexed. So, like, if your team that, let's say, like, you get hurt, or there's 2 teams that are really picking up steam and the NFL wants to put those 2 teams in prime time,
you can kind of swap
do that.
the scheduling of a primetime game.
You can get flexed in and flexed out.
Flexed out, yes, correct.
Where in the past there was, like, very stringent rules on that. They're a little more loose this past year, or last season they were a little more loose, and that's carrying over to this season.
Yeah, and so that's a thing to watch for too, because let's say that originally one of the Jets matchups maybe wasn't looking like such a highly sought after game, and that other team like really starts to pick up speed, then I don't know. I think it could get flexed in.
Justin Galassi, great talk, guys. Love the early info I'm getting at work. So you're watching at work. I love it.
I love it. Getting paid.
We were kind of curious.
Getting paid to talk Jets.
Yeah.
You're like one of us.
I was wondering. I was wondering, like, where people would be. Like, is this a car watch? Is it a work watch? So
you get the YouTube live, like, notification.
Right.
It's like, where are you watching?
If you're watching this, can you just, I don't know. I'm kind of curious. Like, tell us where you are.
Where are you watching from?
Like, are you at home having cereal,
doing?
eggs? Like, are you at work?
Are you commuting?
T.O. says that dog looks like Snoopy. It kind of did. Yeah, like a Snoop. Okay, we got more Snoopy comments.
I'm curious too, because I know that we go live whenever there's some like sort of breaking news here at One Jets Live. We do that. I wonder what fans like, what they do immediately after hearing some breaking news. Do you go to Twitter? Do you wait for One Jets Live to come on because you should? Oh, Max Power's at the gym.
Yeah, I am curious how much you're benching. I mean, Max Power sounds like a guy that's at the gym because, like maximum power. Maybe he's PRing. Maybe he's in between cents.
Maybe.
Oh, okay. Your last final. Well,
Ooh.
is this like a congratulations? Are you graduating? Or are you just finished with the semester?
Matthew, let me just stop you right there. You're not going to fail your last final. You're studying. You're going to ace your last final. It's your last one. You just got to push through a little bit more. So keep on studying. Maybe you should turn us off because you have to be studying.
I can't believe you said he's about to fail.
No, he said he was about to fail.
I can't believe that.
I know. We need some optimism. Oh, Marcus
Believer
doesn't
juice.
work in the UK. Believer juice.
Yeah,
yes, precisely.
Matt, you need some believer juice. Come on.
Yeah.
Get yourself a high-powered, a max-powered coffee and put some believer juice in it. Go crush the final.
Yep, we love it. Oh, Peter Bond said he's at work in Germany. Go Jets.
Wow, okay.
Love that.
Thanks, Peter.
Thanks, Peter.
Thanks for tuning in from Germany. I don't know what the time difference is, but I know they got to be way ahead of us.
Yeah.
Well, the UK's 5 hours. I'm at... Wow. Yeah.
Love that.
Cute.
I'm at Levi Stadium, waiting for week 1.
Well, don't hold your breath.
You might be camping out there for a little while, but we'll see you there.
If you're out there already, make sure to go catch a San Francisco Giants game. Great ballpark.
Okay, great.
I'm watching at work in Metro Detroit, still repping Gang Green no matter where I live. That's
Love
great.
it, Kevin.
Detroit, Sauce Gardner, Robert Saleh. By the way, Saleh is a Dearborn, Michigan guy.
Yes, he is.
The Jets signed a rookie tryout player yesterday, a receiver, also from Dearborn, Michigan. Same high school as Robert Saleh.
I would just like to say that, like, you mentioned 2 Michigan greats, and you, like, kind of forgot the one that's sitting right next to you, but that's fine.
Moving on. Indy Jets says North Carolina having morning coffee before work.
Ooh, very nice.
So does that mean that you're from Indianapolis? But, oh, I feel this.
Tony S. stuck on not New Jersey Transit. Not that. Oh,
New Jersey
man.
Transit's catching strays here on One Jets Live.
It is. They've been catching a lot of strays.
Walking the pup.
That's a good one.
I've never seen that puppy emoji before, though. The dog on a leash? Is that new?
Oh, I actually didn't even see that.
Yeah, toss that back up there if you can. It's 2:53 in Germany. Thank you, EA. Yeah, okay, so they're way ahead in the afternoon. That means like when it's New Year's, it's New Year's way earlier there.
Wait, I just have to point out, Sean Kenny said.
Denmark. Okay.
Sean Kenny said, I just spent $400 in the Jet shop. Sean, my guy, what did you get? I need to know. Did you get a couple jerseys? Did you get some hats? I kind of want to hear what you got.
Wow. $400, huh?
$400.
I'm impressed.
I'm like,
that could have
really
been one
impressed.
jersey.
Yeah.
Or it could have been multiple things.
I think it was. I bet it was.
I bet it was a big haul.
Yeah. I bet he saw the news Monday Night Football. He was like, I gotta get my gear.
That's what you would have done.
Yeah, obviously, I'm addicted to shopping.
Right, you would have probably over-ordered and then decided what you like.
Who's to say that I haven't done that already?
That's funny. I'm just trying to catch up on these comments here. The one thing I will say is like, the true home opener will be week 2 versus Miami. MTO 2089. Is it true the home opener will be week 2 versus Miami? I have no idea.
I mean,
Schedule comes out tomorrow at 8.
yeah, I couldn't tell you because the schedule's not out yet, but I could tell you tomorrow at 8 p.m.
Where did you see that? That's what I want to know.
Yeah,
And what is your thumbnail? Because it looks like it's just like a shadow on a rug.
it is a shadow. Maybe on some sand? I don't know.
But I would like to know who said that because I haven't seen that anywhere.
Me either. But, ooh, Omar, I have my alarm at 5:45 a.m. I live in Santa Clara, and I'm a Jets fan. I'm so excited that week 1 is going to be a couple of streets from my house. Let's go Jets. That is so exciting.
Omar.
I bet you have a nice little tailgate set up in your driveway if you're a couple streets away from the stadium. That sounds
We're coming over.
pretty nice.
Look, I know that this is One Jets Live and breaking news comes, and then like we hop on here, much like this morning. But schedule comes out 8 p.m.
Yep.
We're gonna have a full breakdown
Yes.
on CBS later. But remember, like that's gonna be a show on CBS and presented by JetBlue. The schedule release, right?
Schedule release is presented by JetBlue.
Thank you.
Yep.
So I think that this is just like we feel like we're being fed some crumbs here.
Yep.
You know what? Maybe treats, because crumbs implies that it's small. This is like a substantial thing.
No, this is great.
So I think that tomorrow night it's going to be fun because obviously we know the opponents. We're just going to know where the team goes and when.
I would like to, if all of the fans in the comments would like to throw out their home opener guesses. So
Okay.
I don't know what week it's going to be, but I want to know who the fans think that the home opener is going to be.
And the closer.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And whatever game opponent you're most looking forward to.
Yeah, those are great. So either throw out what you think the home opener opponent's going to be, throw out maybe the home closer opponent is going to be, or just which one you're most excited to come to.
Well, Q said Patriots, so I don't know if that means the opener, the closer, or the one you're most looking forward to.
Mr. McMoney said Jets versus Rams home opener.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
Where are you going for yours?
Oh gosh, this is tough. You know what would be really cool? And I do think I want to save it for later in the season. But the Texans would be really cool.
Yeah, it would be cool.
It would just be electric.
Second week home opener against Miami. That seems to be a popular pick.
Yeah, interesting.
So you want to go Texans?
I mean, ideally, I would closer will be Texans. See, that would be a really great closer.
It can't be the closer, Mike, unless it's the home closer.
No. I think he means home closer because you're asking for home closer.
Right. Okay. Because week 18, whether it's home or away, has to be either the Bills, the Patriots, or the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Eric says home opener will be Miami and the home closer is Buffalo. See, I could see that. The Jets ended against the Patriots last year. The year before that, it was Miami. So to your point, like you were talking about how you were guessing the Bills could be the closer.
Right.
That would make sense if it was like a cyclical thing. It's just not. It's kind of random. So
Right, exactly. Texans.
What state is that?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah, I'm not going to try to guess.
Don't.
Okay.
It will make us look stupid.
Well, it kind of looked like a Vermont, New Hampshire area, like in terms of the shape.
I understand what you mean, yeah.
But I don't know what state that was.
A lot of also guesses of the Bills being the home opener.
I think, yeah, it's a popular pick for obvious reasons. Same with Matthias Simon. He's saying Bills home opener.
Yep.
It makes sense. I get it. Yeah, okay. So.
You were right. You were right. Great. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you. Thank you. Do you know the capital of Vermont? I think it's Montpelier.
Really?
I'm going to look that up right now.
I don't think you're right.
Capital. Montpelier.
Oh, wow.
Yep. I used to be a big geometry guy.
I could.
Did I just say geometry?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I'm a geography.
I was going to let it slide.
Yeah, no, you can't be doing that.
Yeah, I was going to just let you roll right over that. Okay, someone said, Mr. Bonesy said, Patriots week 2. Interesting.
I like that.
Yeah, why?
Well, I think when you look at the Patriots compared to the Bills and the Dolphins, they're obviously a team that's looking to they're a team in transition right now. They just had the 3rd overall pick with Drake May, new head coach, new quarterback, whether that's Jacoby Brissett or Drake May. They have some pieces like the Jets have a lot of new pieces, especially up front on the offensive line. 3/5 of the O-line, if they were to play today, would be new starters.
Completely new look.
So even though Morgan Moses is not new to the Jets,
right,
it's not the same offense that he played in 2021. No. So to me, if you come in with the Patriots week 2, it's just no game is easy. I'm just saying, like, the Patriots are a team that the Jets just played to end the 2023 season. It's going to be a much different game, I would imagine, than the Bills and the Dolphins.
Yep.
And I think that by the time the Jets play those teams, if it's later in the season, maybe that's giving the offense more time to gel and try to find its footing as quickly as possible or as smoothly as possible, give the Bills and the Dolphins their best shot.
Yeah, okay. I like that take. I do.
So I know we're kind of going the whole schedule because it's schedule season as ZN. But I think that if you circle back on what we went live for, Jets-Niners, Monday Night Football, week 1, on the road, it doesn't get much better than this.
No, it's really like a very picturesque Monday Night Football.
Yeah, it's kind of like I can't get my mind or I can't wrap my mind around the fact that, like, everyone thought it was going to be this.
And it is.
And it is.
I know. Because that never happens.
Because it makes too much sense, to your point. Like, the storylines are there. The great football is there. Aaron Rodgers going back to San Francisco again. He grew up a Niners fan from Chico, California. His home team passes on him. He goes to Green Bay instead in that draft. Now he's a Jet. Going home, Robert Saleh coaching against his former team.
Yep.
Jeff Ulbrich played as a San Francisco 49er for a long time.
Yep.
Then you start to get into the matchup. Sauce Gardner, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk.
It's going to be so good.
Fred Warner, C.J. Mosley, Quincy Williams, Drake Greenlaw, if he's healthy, Nick Bosa, the Jets defensive line.
Brock Purdy, Aaron Rodgers.
Nick Bosa and Quinnen Williams selected 2 and 3 overall in 2019. Like, there are just so many storylines. And I'm excited to let it ride.
I know, me too. Well, you guys know where to find us. If there's any more breaking news in the coming days, we'll be right here, One Jets Live. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.